and gentlemen, meet the brand new BMW X7, and it is by far the largest, the most luxurious BMW X vehicle ever built. It is the next size up above the X5 and of course the X6. And coming up right now, I'm going to let you know the top 10 reasons why this is the most American BMW ever built. At number 10, of course, has to be style. Actually, before we get to number 10, it has to be the fact that this BMW is built in Spartanburg, so it is in fact made in America. But style-wise, I mean, look at the size of that grille. That is definitely the biggest BMW kidney-shaped grille that you've ever laid your eyes on, and that is very American, being double XL, but there's more. Let me show you. If you're gonna have a big SUV, you need big wheels, and of course, 21-inch wheels are standard, but since we're in the 50i, the big boy of the two possible models, we're rolling on 275/40 R22s. That's right, we're rolling on the optional 22s. If you're gonna have a big nose and a big face, you might as well have a big butt as well. I mean, look at the size of the back end of this X7. Specifically, this chrome strip going right across the entire back end. This has become a style feature of a lot of German cars, but the one that really impresses me is right here. Look at the size of those exhausts, and that's because what's under the hood is also big. Let me show you. If you're gonna have a big exhaust, you better have a big engine, and the X7 does not disappoint. There are two models, the 40i and the 50i. The 40i comes with a turbocharged straight six that produces 335 horsepower and 330 pound-foot of torque. Now this bad boy, this is the 50i. We've got the big engine under the hood. That produces 456 horsepower and 479 pound-foot of torque out of a 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8, and both models are paired to an 8-speed automatic. Big numbers, big gears, big car. Now, if you're going to have a big car and a big engine and big over-the-top styling, you're also going to have a big price. It just goes along with the territory. The 40i starts at $74,895, and that 50i, which is of course the top of the line model, starts at $93,595. Now that is without many of the bells and whistles. So that model you're looking at, that is well over $100,000 of big-ass BMW. At number 7 is the fact that in America, bigger is always better, especially if you want to haul ass, no, make that people. And this BMW X7 is 9 inches longer than the X5, 5.1 inches wider, and a few inches taller. What that means is that you can get up to 7 people into this vehicle. Now this has the 2-3-2 configuration. You can also get a 2-2 configuration with captain seats in the middle, but the real test of a 7-passenger vehicle, of course, is how much room is in the back seat. So let's move this second seat row forward, and yes, I will attempt to wedge my 6'2" body into the back seat. Of course, it's all electric. You wouldn't want to strain yourself getting into this. Tons of headroom. I have my own little baby sunroof, but the real test isn't how much headroom I have, but how much legroom I have. So let's do the test right now. Let's move this seat back and see if it indeed chops off my knees, or if I have enough room back here to actually. So far so good, but let's keep going. Here's a real test. Oh yeah, there go my knees, there go my knees. So headroom is okay, legroom not so much. Very luxurious, but definitely a better place for the kiddos, especially if they're, let's say, 10 and under. We've worked our way now to number 6, and even though this does have a big price tag, it also has a big list of standard features. Things like, well, X-Drive, which means you have all-wheel drive, air suspension, of course, this really cool iPhone-sized key that does things like an iPhone would. Check it out. You can actually activate it. How cool is that? You also get this incredibly soft leather. You get, well, perhaps one of my favorite features, this massive 12.3-inch screen with a configurable dashboard as well. And one thing that always says luxury in my mind, check this out. Yep, soft closed doors. In a big car, of course, you get big amounts of room. With the third row folded up, you don't get a huge amount, unfortunately. You can tell that really about 2 airplane bags fit back here. But don't let this deceive you, because in this vehicle, everything is electric. So I can fold down the second row electronically, and it's like a choreographed dance. It's almost like a ballet. Of course, I could fold down the next row. Now with both rows folded down, you're looking at a massive 90 cubic feet of space back here, which is enough for somebody my size. Now keep in mind, I'm not the world's smallest person. I'm 6'2" and 225 pounds on a good day. I mean, look at this, guys. Talk about your overlanding champion. Oh yeah, this is just an immense amount of space back here. Plus I love this sunroof, but more on that in a moment. At number 4 is just a vast amount of technology that they've built into the X7. And some of it is good and some of it not so good. Let's start with the good. For instance, this phone, I can charge it wirelessly, of course, just by putting it right there. How cool is that? I also have complete control of the rear seats. I can move them backward and forward to allow the kiddos to get in and out of the third seat. I also have this button right here on the steering wheel, which actually allows this car to pretty much drive itself in stop and go traffic under 37 miles an hour. And of course, I have BMW's new voice command system, and that is a little, well, let me show you. Hey, BMW.
Hello, what can I help you with?
What's 2 plus 2?
Close to.
Yep, pretty much what I thought. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Let's see if the gesture control works. Let's see if I can turn up the music here. Oh yeah, look at that. At number 3 are these 2 buttons right there. It's air suspension. By pressing this one, you can actually lower the car 0.8 of an inch, making it easy for Rover to get in and out the back. Or you can also raise the car 1.6 inches. How cool is that? It also has standard all-wheel drive, which has a rear wheel bias, which is great because that means it drives and steers more like a rear wheel drive car than like an all-wheel drive or front wheel drive car. The way that you would want an American-German big ass crossover, or is it SUV, to drive. At number 2 is the fact that a big car like this is going to have some big competition, and you might be thinking to yourself, does it compete with cars like the Cadillac Escalade? That's another 3-row luxury vehicle. No, it's not quite that big, but it does directly compete with its German rivals, cars such as the Audi Q7. Sorry, I'm just playing with this rear seat entertainment system that actually mirrors the navigation from the front of the car and does things like gives you your owner's manual and, of course, regulatory notes. It's all in here. It's pretty crazy. But let's get to number 1, and that is, of course, this massive sunroof. Now, BMW has a feature called the Panoramic Glass Roof Lounge. Now, that's a lot of words for a really cool feature that they've borrowed from the Rolls-Royce brand that they also own. And what that means is if you've got the Panoramic Glass Roof Lounge, you can actually recreate up to 1,500 different star patterns in the roof of your BMW, so that at night, if the stars are not out, you can actually look up and see them right above your head. Another option I find really entertaining and really cool is not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5-zone HVAC, so that, for instance, the front driver can have his temperature set at, let's say, 70. Back here I could be at 50 and the kids can be at 80. But that's not all. There's so much stuff packed into this vehicle that I actually have 2 bonuses, so let's go and talk about those. My first bonus is right back here. Both This 8-cylinder and the straight 6-cylinder will tow a maximum of 7,500 pounds when equipped with the factory hitch. And that's a lot of horses. Unfortunately, there is no built-in brake controller, so if you're going to tow heavy, you're going to have to do it with either a remote brake controller or a surge brake.